There is probably not a single person in the country who has not heard about climate change. The entire movement started with the first Earth Day in 1970, when big business was accused of killing the planet for profits. The Arab oil embargo came in 1973, giving birth to the energy crisis with long gas lines and rationing like World War II. These were the missing ingredients needed to advance a socialistic movement of wealth redistribution, nationalization of all businesses, and more government regulations necessary for socialism. This is also the birth of the saying by political operatives, "Never let a good disaster go to waste." These issues evolved into climate studies and energy conservation movements, which started as global cooling, and the alternatives like solar and wind were reintroduced as solutions. This was my work as a process engineer. It involved the study of how climates and operating systems work, along with what could be done to save energy, reduce cost, recycle resources, and stop pollution. The conclusions were all these efforts to save energy and natural resources are the right thing to do, but had no effect on the climate. But the saying, "Never let a good disaster go to waste," spurred environmentalists and activists into insisting on violating all the laws of physics, that the climate was changing and it was a disaster and a perfect way to redistribute wealth. Political operatives exploited the climate change issue by birthing organizations like the Sierra Club, Planned Parenthood, ACLU, Earth First, Me Too, Black Lives Matter, Occupy Wall Street, and other organizations that have socialistic agendas. These are only fundraising groups and never solve any problems, with all their predictions never coming to pass, while convincing us that we are all victims. They only advance their agenda with man-made climate change, the ideal umbrella under which to operate to get more contributions. Regardless of whether or not one believes in man is causing the global warming, one good thing that's coming out of this movement is the increasing awareness that we must all keep our own doorstep clean so the whole world can be clean. This is good, but it has become a tool to advance their agenda of population control, wealth redistribution, and big brother regulations while ignoring all the unintended consequences. These objectives directly confront the core values upon which this country was founded: fairness, truth, sustainability, and integrity in a capitalistic economy, which has worked very well to this point. There is no question the climate is changing, but that is not caused by man. These changes are caused by only one thing, and that's the intensity of the sun, which varies by as much as 10% over decades, not to mention the swing from winter to summer. There is no other source of energy to warm the earth. Only 1% of all the CO2 and methane in the atmosphere is caused by man, with carbon dioxide about 10% of all the greenhouse gases, with methane a close second at 9%. 70% of all the greenhouse gases is water vapor and dust, over which we have no control. Carbon dioxide and methane are the only ingredients tied to man, with their contribution less than 2%. With environmental regulations, these man-made contributions have been going down since the 80s, while alarmists are insisting that things are continuing to get worse. These facts are conveniently ignored by those who insist that we must do whatever it takes to save the planet. They declare that we must spend trillions to keep this moment in time constant, and that the ratio of man's existence on this planet to the age of the universe is less than 1 second in a year. We all want a clean planet, and no one wants to see any species go extinct. 99% of all the species that have ever existed on the earth have become extinct as part of evolution, and declare today's climate as the optimal for the rest of time is vacuous and foolish. We must all do our part to keep the world clean by not wasting our natural resources like food and water and energy, as well as caring for and appreciating all the life in the world, especially human life. But to think that we can preserve this instant in the 14 billion years of the universe's existence is beyond logic and insulting to the intelligence of most God-fearing people. This is Keith Kuby wishing you the best in making the world a better place.